Want to help the channel? Go to shopclownfish.com where you can check out official Clownfish TV merchandise in our brand new shop. It helps us out. Also, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/clownfishtv for more art and gaming live streams that we don't do on YouTube. We want to see you over there as well. Now let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this video is about the rumors of a potential George Lucas cut of the Rise of Skywalker that is rumored to exist.
Yeah, we've heard this for a while. This was out like last year.
There were rumors put out there that there were multiple versions of the Rise of Skywalker, one of them being a George Lucas cut, one of them being a Kathleen Kennedy cut, and then we had a J.J. Abrams cut. And we know that, factually, you can kind of back up the, scrambling behind the scenes to put this movie together. They were doing reshoots.
Yep.
Very, very late in the movie.
They keep claiming they weren't, but they were.
They were. They absolutely were. George Lucas was brought in to consult. There was a rumor that he was actually on set.
Hayden Christensen was supposed to be on set. People saw him on set.
That was a rumor. Again, these are all rumors. Now, Doomcock put out a new video yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Put out a new video talking about what could have potentially been in that Rise of Skywalker Lucas cut. Now, let's just talk about this and why this might maybe possibly at some point wind up being a thing, if it exists. The Snyder Cut, the mythical Snyder Cut that people thought didn't exist, they're actually making it exist. HBO Max is going to be premiering probably the most fan requested thing ever.
Because just because you say it doesn't exist doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
So, there's been a lot of discussion about do-overs in movies and getting better versions of movies. And if a better version of Episode 9 could have existed or does exist in some form, is it possible that Disney might go back and revisit it if there's, money at stake?
I don't know, will they? Because they're
Are they just going to write it off?
I don't think they have the time or the money now to do it. But it likely does exist. From the rumors we heard previously, the fact that Doomcock is usually pretty right, and the fact that there's a warring factions going on, and George Lucas is part of the warring factions allegedly.
Yeah,
it all makes sense. And guess who was behind it not getting this cut, not being the one that was released? It's Kathleen Kennedy, of course.
Yeah, so let's talk about this, because a lot of people, talking about the credibility of YouTubers and Doomcock in particular. Okay, there has been a pretty vocal contingent, I guess, of Lucasfilm employees or ex-employees or people familiar with the situation over there, trying to get the word out about, how Lucasfilm has changed under Disney ownership. One of them is J.W. Rinsler, who we've talked about before, a former Lucasfilm author who wrote a lot of the making of books, and he's been trying to talk about the dissatisfaction at Lucasfilm and trying to talk about how Lucasfilm has changed under the regime of the mouse. Now, it is very possible, and I'm not saying this is J.W. Rinsler going to Doomcock, but if there are really that many people within Lucasfilm or close to Lucasfilm or George Lucas who are upset about what could have been and what should have been, it's very possible that one or more of them are going to YouTubers with this information. Right,
or bloggers too. There's some blogs that keep getting inside information.
Like We Got This Covered claims that they're getting. We're going to talk about them too.
So, it's very, very likely. I'm just going to say it. It's very likely.
Well, yeah, because look, you can get sued. And Rinsler said he can't talk about stuff because he's got a non-disparagement, non-disclosure agreement with Disney. And he honestly wouldn't be in the inside loop, I don't think, of things that are going on currently, but that's not to say that there aren't people within Lucasfilm who are just as unhappy, who could go and sort of launder their information through YouTube or through bloggers.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people are not very happy.
Yeah.
It sounds like one camp is the Kathleen Kennedy camp is the only one that's been, kind of getting their way so far. But yeah, the rumors about the cut were interesting. They said that it was rumored, and Kathleen Kennedy put it away. And then there was like 4 people, he said, that were higher ups that got to the bottom of it and got to see the cut.
Yeah.
And they said there was a meeting on he said there was a meeting on July 3rd that he doesn't know what's coming out of the meeting, but that he knows that there's supposed to be a giant big announcement in early September because of this meeting, but he doesn't know what that announcement is. He's hoping, I think, that his KK is gone, but we don't know what that announcement actually is.
So these seem to be some of the rumors that Doomcock put out there, scenes that were supposedly cut from the movie, but they actually exist in some form because this insider supposedly had photos?
Yeah, screenshots. Apparently.
Screenshots?
They got, okay, it's convoluted. So the person he talked to had talked to the person who actually was at the screening, and the person at the screening took screenshots who showed the person that he talked to. So it's like a friend of a friend,
telephone. Now, about the screening, which I don't know if we talked about that. Yeah, I don't think we did. But they apparently did screen multiple versions of the movie, and Kathleen Kennedy got her panties in a bunch.
Yeah, she's the one who said,
right.
No.
And because of that, because George Lucas's version tested higher, she's like,
Well, they said it was like 40% different. That the 50 minutes of the movie was different than the one that was released.
Which jives with all the reshoots.
Right.
Yeah.
Which gives us the scenes that we all wanted, and I will admit I did cry for like 10 minutes when I heard about the one scene because I was like, I'm so mad. It's ridiculous. But he said on the one scene that he supposedly was told about from the person who saw the screenshots was the scene where, you know, after she thinks she kills Chewie on the Falcon, apparently, which I don't know, I haven't seen it.
We still haven't seen it. Yeah, we still haven't seen it.
That she hears a voice talking to her about, you know, life and that's how you change and things like that. And when she looks up, it's Anakin, which then would confirm the rumors that we were hearing, and people had pictures. Isn't there a photo of him being on the set?
I don't know if they had photos.
I thought I heard that there was a photo.
I think there possibly was. I'm just waiting because people in the comments can be like, there was no photo.
Okay, well, there might not have been.
There
But
were rumors he was on
heard.
set. They were trying to find a way to get him into the movie. At some point, they had originally in The Force Awakens there was going to be a Darth Vader Anakin ghost.
Right, and remember too, you said this here, that they were supposed to be conventions that Ian McDiarmid and Hayden Christensen were together, and
Yes.
they canceled them being able to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, because they could have been like, oh, and Hayden Christensen's going to be there too, because we all knew Ian McDiarmid was going to be in it. They already said that. But Hayden Christensen was going to be with him, and then they wouldn't let him, they canceled those panels or whatever.
That was Disney.
Yeah.
Disney canceled the panels.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't have that come out.
Which then further makes it seem like this is legitimate. But apparently they got Anakin in there, and they had him in, which, you know, was what we all heard. But the other one's the really bad one. The other one he said about was that, you can go into his video to hear it in its entirety.
Yeah,
what
we'll
was
put a link in the description.
I'm just going to give you just an overview. But basically at the end, your part where he sees Han is projected to see, you know, Han, that in the George Lucas cut, Leia and Luke show up too. So we would have had on screen Luke, Han, and Leia.
Yeah.
Which was what everybody wanted, but we're not going to get. And I'm really upset about it. I'd explained to my son why I was so upset and crying over a movie. I think it's the same for a lot of people, is that if you love something like this, and as long as people loved it, and that's all they've been asking for this entire time, and they have them not even do it at all when they could have. And apparently George Lucas tried, because that's what people wanted. Contrary to Disney's, they only want Rey, then they want Rey. They wanted this. And it's really hard too, because if you're like our age and you grew up with this stuff, you're constantly seeing the people that you looked up to, the actors, the characters, they're passing away. We already lost Carrie Fisher. You know, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, we have for now, but who knows? You know, we never know what's going to happen. We're losing people all the time, like David Bowie, or, you know, just different, you know, actors and musicians that mattered and were really impactful on our lives. We're losing them. And then you have then you have the whole thing, you know, where you worry about losing people, you know, that are older and things like that. So it's just, you know, you don't know, you're not going to get that shot again. You're just not. And it's hard.
They had one chance, and the original script for The Force Awakens, if I remember correctly, they actually did have them all together at the end of the movie.
They should have been the whole way through.
Yeah, they should have been the whole way through. You know, and it was a huge missed opportunity. That was what did it, I think, for a lot of people, especially after Carrie Fisher passed. It's like, well, there goes that opportunity.
That's the finality of it. And you know, like I said, when you're our age, you know that these people, they were the heroes when you were a kid, and now that you're, you know, their age or older, they were in the movies. You're losing people, and your chances are limited, and you're always worried you're going to lose a hero. And then they had the chance to put the heroes together, and they didn't do it, which set me off crying for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can verify that happened. I'm sorry. Yeah, but look, I mean, I don't know if they will do something about it. Again, the Snyder Cut might set a precedent, but as long as Kathleen Kennedy is there, if this exists, and if it was her idea to veto, it's not going to happen.
No. And people I think are just getting sick of it because there's a clear narrative associated with Kathleen Kennedy. And it's this whole woman power narrative, which I'm so tired of hearing there's no women in Star Wars. There weren't strong female characters. There wasn't diversity, because it's not true. God, I'm so sick of it. Can we just stop and just make good movies again?
No.
And I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm on the side of, if there is the two factions, I'm on the side with Favreau, Filoni, and Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just it. It does seem to lend more credence to there being a civil war. And I mean, from, you know, the Bob's point of view, Bob Iger's point of view, Bob Chapek's point of view, they have to look at, like, what are audiences going for? Well, they didn't like The Rise of Skywalker very much. They definitely don't like The Last Jedi. But gosh, they sure do like The Mandalorian. That seems to be resonating with people, and you can't keep the Baby Yoda merchandise in stock, and that's what he's thinking about.
Well, then they were fighting over who camped with Baby Yoda, too. Between Kathleen Kennedy's trying to say it was her now, and, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really give a shit what's going on inside of Lucasfilm. I just want to see results. I mean, they can bicker amongst themselves, whatever. I just want to see better products and better results. And I want to see fans, opinions taken into consideration.
Yeah, I don't know. This is Disney we're talking about, and they gave up on fan opinions.
Well, look what they should have learned, because look what happened. And then you had the Russo brothers saying if they had directed it, it would have been Luke Skywalker. It would have been about Luke Skywalker getting focused on him, even, moving on to somebody else, but it would have been a focus on him to continue it the whole way through.
Because it's the Skywalker saga. Like, they don't even mention Anakin Skywalker by name in The Rise of Skywalker. And it's supposed to be, George Lucas's original plan was it's his story.
And at the end of the day, a Palpatine wins, and she gets everything.
Yeah.
The lightsabers, the name, even though there's no reason for her to take the name, everything. And it's kind of insulting. It's just really insulting, I think, to the brand and to the fans that have been around. But everybody's too busy trying to be like, let the past die, kill it if you have to, that they don't sit and realize, well, I can see how this could be insulting to people, because they're too busy yelling about their strong female characters and all that bull crap, and no one really cared about, and that's why the movies failed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm to the point now where, I was in no hurry to, I did see the video was out there yesterday. I was actually in no hurry to watch it, because I'm like, I am completely numb to Star Wars at this point. I know you're not. And that's the thing. Geeky cares more about it than I do. And I was, super excited for all the movies that Disney was going to do. And I was actually, stupidly excited when Disney bought Star Wars and they announced they were going to do new movies with the original trio. And it's just been disappointment after disappointment. And, I personally can't even muster up enough give a shit anymore. The Mandalorian, it took some doing to even get me to watch it. I watched that first episode with the goofy ass Marvel alien, and I was almost out after the first episode. I gave it a chance. I liked it, but you know what? If they never made any more Mandalorian, I don't know if I'd give a shit. If they never made any more Star Wars at all, and that's how sad this is. Like, you're talking lifelong Star Wars fan. We grew up, Star Wars defined our generation, defined Gen X.
It defined pop culture, defined filmmaking, it defined everything. Everything today was defined by, often was defined by Star Wars. And
if Star Wars stopped tomorrow, just stopped, I don't think I'd be that sad. I would get over it pretty quick. I'd just be like, you know what? It's like watching a loved one die by degrees. Like, in some ways, it's like they were gone before they actually passed. And that's kind of how I feel about Star Wars at this point. I'm like, Star Wars has been dying by degrees. And if it just exits this world now, that might be better for all of us, so we don't have to watch it die anymore. And that sounds really morbid, I know, but that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm just like, I think it would be kind of a mercy killing if Disney can't get its shit together, and we're not going to get people who actually care about George Lucas's vision in charge of Star Wars. It can just go away, and then we can just have our memories of the movies that actually were good.
I don't even know what to say to that anymore. So
I'm making you cry more. I'm sorry.
I'm just upset. It's like we had the opportunity to have them all three together on screen. It's never going to happen again because Carrie Fisher's gone, and because of ego, or whatever reason. I'm guaranteeing it's ego. We didn't get that because it would look bad if George Lucas had to come in and save them.
Save the thing he made.
Well, that's it.
It would look bad if the person who made the thing had to come in and course correct. I mean, that's bullshit. What's next? Like if Walt Disney were still somehow alive and he wanted to come in and give the Disney company some pointers on how to course correct, they'd tell him to go piss off.
No, they wouldn't. They would make a big photo op of it and make a big deal about it and not listen at all.
Well, that's all George Lucas was a photo op.
But they didn't. They hid it. They didn't even bring him. They really didn't do much. It was all hidden.
Yeah.
They could have made a show of, we're trying to get him in here. We're trying to, but then they would have had to admit that this cut exists and everything else. Like I said, of course, the rumor. Go listen to Doomcock's video because he explains it a lot better, a lot more detail, and he's the one that got the story told to him. So I recommend listening to it because we didn't give anywhere near the amount of detail he did. But it's just sad, and I'm just upset.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of anymore. I mean, with pop culture, it almost feels like don't get too attached because it's only a matter of time until Hollywood screws it up. Till Hollywood, slowly murders pop culture.
It's like everything you care about, everything you loved, everything that mattered to you. They're just so busy trying to, because they're so creatively bankrupt, but they're trying to just rehash, reboot, retell everything to the place that's unrecognizable, and then they're telling you you're not allowed to have feelings about it.
We're gonna murder something that meant a lot to you in front of you, and you're not allowed to say anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing.
Because if you do, you're some kind of istophobe.
Yeah, we're gonna.
How dare you?
TV shows, movies, comic books, video games, everything. They're taking everything. Everything we loved, for years, that the fans kept alive for decades, and they're just like choking the life out of it in front of you, and then gleefully so. Like, they're laughing at you as they're doing it.
They mock you. I got mocked the other day. They call me Screechy.
Screechy.
Because I'm mad about the She-Ra stuff. They openly mock people, but you're not allowed to say anything to them, or you're some kind of, problematic person.
Oh, yeah, you're harassing people.
I think the reason 80s kids and 90s kids even are so attached to things is because when we were kids, like people generations before us got attached to, but not like we did. And I think it was because we were in such a place of creativity and excitement, and it was just a different world then, and so it resonated maybe more. I don't know, but it seems like the kids from the 80s and 90s are more attached to things than other kids seem to be. So I don't know, other generations, I guess. But it's just upsetting, and it is what it is, so I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah, we're going to be living Ready Player One. We're going to have kids.
Oh, they're doing a sequel to that, by the way.
Oh, God, of course they are. But I'm just saying we're going to have kids, 40 years from now, reliving our childhoods, vicariously through.
But they still kept it the same in Ready Player One. They didn't change it. The whole point was respecting the past and even going back into the memories to this competition. So you could see what it was like then, knowing as much as you could know about the actual products, not how could I change it to make it my way. It's just a generation of disrespect and then mocking people for being upset, and I would expect nothing less out of people running Disney anymore.
Yeah, there's that. Walt would, I mean, honestly, he'd be ashamed. I mean, Disney was always kind of at the forefront of innovation and creativity, and now it's just a Borg. Absorbing IP, they don't know what to do with it, and when they've got the people, I mean, they're lucky enough to have George Lucas alive, and they're even like, yeah, we don't need you, George. We got it. Even though this was all you, it was mostly you. It all came from your brain. We don't need you anymore. We own the rights to it. So, all right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Again, check out Doomcock's video. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.